Since we can use the microwave oven to melt metals and make ceramics, it's important to set aside an oven exclusively for those uses, because those processes usually release smoke and odors, so it's not a good idea to use the kitchen oven. Also, if you have an oven that's rusty or is pitted, this video will be very useful for you because that's exactly the topic we're going to cover. I got this oven as a gift some time ago, and, well, I used some parts of it in other videos. But since the metal is still in pretty good shape, I decided I'm going to repair it for my experiments. The thing with this oven is that the keypad doesn't work. The buttons don't respond. And, well, in another video, I'll show you how to bypass the control panel so it turns on directly. When we close the door, or, well, we can also install a power switch, or better yet, a timer. But today we're going to focus on getting the inside in good shape, because when they get corroded and rusty, they usually start to spark inside, which can be a bit scary. The causes of sparks in microwaves are usually three. One of them is precisely this, the pitting and rust. Another is the mica that covers the waveguide from the magnetron, which this microwave in particular doesn't have. You can see it used to spark, so they removed it. And, well, I'm also going to show you a trick that I was taught to replace it without spending a single penny. And the third one is usually the magnetron's antenna, which burns out and produces sparks. In that case, you have to change the cap. At other times, you can't remove that cap because it's really stuck. And it's not a good idea for us to mess with that area, because in that area, that little pinkish part there, it's beryllium oxide, which is very, very dangerous. It's a poison, and it's not a good idea to handle it, scrape it, or anything like that, because we could inhale it and harm our health. But today we're going to solve the other two problems, the pitting and the rust on the inside on the metal sheet. For that, you won't need to remove the cover that exposes the internal components of the microwave. We're simply going to do it with the microwave oven as it is, and we're going to treat the areas where it's pitted. As always, the places that get pitted are where the wheels of the turntable go. Well, that's usually where it gets pitted because water and steam condense there, since they hit the rotating plate and fall into that deeper part. Well, usually the pits are there. In this case, it's just rust. Luckily, the sheet metal isn't perforated. If that were the case, well, the best thing is to take the microwave directly to a sheet metal worker so they can weld a patch on it, or just replace the bottom part altogether. If it's just the paint that's peeling and rusted, like in this case, we'll use a scraper or a screwdriver to scrape and lift off all the loose paint. You can see that in this case there was a lot of paint that was coming off. After that, once we've used the spatula and removed as much as possible, we're going to use wet sandpaper until the metal is shiny. There shouldn't be any rust left. Once we've done this, which is the hardest part, we clean with a brush and then with a damp cloth all the leftover paint and rust that might have remained. We let it dry and then we're going to paint it. You can't paint with just any synthetic enamel. Don't do that. You have to buy a paint that's specially made for microwaves. It's this one. This paint can withstand microwaves and doesn't release any gases. If you paint it with another type of paint that's not like this, it can be very dangerous. So don't use any other type of paint. You have to use the specific paint that's made for microwaves. You can find it on Mercado Libre. Type microwave interior paint, and you'll see several brands come up. I have this one here. I've already tried it on other microwaves and it works perfectly. All right, let's paint with the spray paint. You have to mask it. Don't do like I did and paint the door. Then I put some tape on it because, of course, I painted in the area where I wasn't supposed to paint. Well, we're going to give it at least 3 coats of paint. Here, I've already finished with that. You can see how it looks. It turned out spectacular inside. The oven looks like new. This oven happens to be in very good condition, except that it has a small melted spot there on the door, and I don't know why. We'll have to check later to see if there are any microwave leaks anywhere once I have it running. All right. That being said, let's solve the other issue, which is the mica sheet, since this one doesn't have it anymore. The mica sheets are generally, it gets carbonized and it starts to spark. And, well, that mica sheet, its function is to protect the magnetron so that no vapors or grease from the food being cooked get to it. Well, for that, we're going to take the measurements of the place where it goes, and we're going to cut out a piece from a microwave-safe container. For example, this Tupperware. These are Tupperwares that can go in the microwave. All right, we're going to cut a rectangle the size of where the mica goes and adjust it, secure it in place. All right, usually with some little plastic tabs, you can hook it onto the microwave and it stays in place. All right. All right, as you can see, the inside of the microwave looks like new. Try not to let the metal sheet rust through. When you see that there's already rust, especially down there where the plate spins, do some maintenance, give it a coat of paint, and your microwave will last a long time. Well, that's all for today. I hope this is helpful and that you can apply it to your ovens in your kitchens. And soon, I'll show you how to repair these ovens when the board fails, like in this case. Share on your social networks, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel by clicking the bell. And you can also join. In that case, I'll add you to a WhatsApp group where the premium members are, and we're there every day. Thank you very much for watching the video, and see you next time, God willing.